Is this work? It's working. Oh my god. There we go. Hello, everybody. Artemis, yes. Hello. Oh. Not doing something emo, by the way. I don't know what we're doing. Actually, no, I do know what we're doing today. So never mind. Something cinematic, we'll call it that. How you doing, everybody? It's been a while. I apologize for not streaming for a little bit. It's just been a bit of a crazy time, I have to say. It's been a bit crazy. A lot of work, a lot of home stuff, just lots of stuff going on, and it's just been whoa. Hey, Mummy Muscles, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the music. It's pretty awesome. Hope it's good, crazy. Some of it's good, I think, Yannick. Yeah, I mean, being busy with, music work, I guess that's a good problem to have. But problem is a lot of things have like shifted in timelines so that everything's just kind of stacked at the moment, you know what I mean? So that's not good. Makes it very hard for me to actually finish things and deliver when I'm just like, I'm running around doing 4 things at once. And then like, we got sick last week, my wife and I, so we were like just flat for a week, really. So that didn't help either, because when you're sick, I really can't work. I know some people can, but I can't do anything. I cannot do anything. Totally not in the middle of the night. Wow. Still using music in all your videos. So many nice comments. That's awesome, Headley. So glad to hear that. Good to see you back. Thank you, Jay. It's been a weird few weeks, and it hasn't ended really. I've still got a lot of work to do, a lot of work to catch up on because of the sickness. So it's like relentless at the moment. I was hoping to take a little bit of a break at some point, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to until, I don't know, later this year sometime. Just hang in there, kitty. Use a 50 instrumentals in this giant project of yours, Mummy. A Minecraft competition video. Insane. That's awesome. That's fantastic to hear. Welcome back, Spelling Error. How y'all been? It's been a few weeks, so what's been happening in your lives? Any crazy monumental things? How long does it take for the copyright strike to go away? So if you've got one, you might have to check who the claimant is. But if it's like something that you've like missed a claim or something, missed a credit, although if you put a credit, like it covers everything. Go to my website. I've got a page on my website. You've probably done this already. Usually if it's like a very straightforward claim, like the normal claim that would be put on a video, if you say missed a credit, it's like 24 hours. But if it's eccentric, like a publishing claim, like the issues we've been having eccentric, it can take like a week or 2. So if you do have something like that, make sure you, what do you call it? Oh my God, brain. Dispute the claim. Just to make sure that like if there's any revenue that's generated by the video, it stays in escrow. So it doesn't, it sort of will give it back to you when the claim disappears. But yeah, the whole publishing thing is being a bit of a pain lately. If film eccentric, okay. You can re-upload if you want. It might cause the same issue though. Centric might just reclaim it. One thing that I think has, like, this might be a bit of trial and error if you want to try and report back if it works. But one thing it seems might be happening is actually it's something to do with the volume in comparison of the track to, say, like dialogue in a video. Sometimes when the volume is very low, like the music is very low. This can cause weird, like our system that we have in place to not recognize the music. I don't know. It's a bit strange. I think it's like something to do with sensitivity, to stop other claimants from swooping in. It could be something to do. But yeah, in this case, it's hard to say what you should do. Whether you can just post it and make sure you dispute it, because the claim will be removed eventually if you've done the form. But it just takes time. That's the problem. It's not a quick one because Centric's a third party. We don't have anything to do with them. They're just really slow sometimes. So it can be a week, it can be 2 weeks. So I'd recommend, as long as you dispute it, I'd probably just post it. Or if you want to swap out the music. That's another solution, I guess. Then re-upload in that way. I'm sorry this is a pain for you. This is really frustrating thing. I'm not exactly sure what to do about it, to be honest, because it's yeah, I need to talk to my own publisher about what's going on, you know. It's really hard to manage. I have no idea. It's such a big black box to me. I didn't credit. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Usually then it's like, it's not Centric though that claims it. It's usually our system, our claims, which is, if you get a claim from me, because it's a missed a credit or something, it's usually you put in, it's a claim from a company called We Are Era BV, or We Are Era Music, on behalf of Scott Buckley. That'll be a claim from me. That's what it will look like. And usually they're the ones who claim it. So there's no issues there because we have control over that. We can, immediately release stuff. But Centric, if Centric are claiming it, it's like we have little control over that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Hopefully it gets fixed very soon. Doing more contact stuff, Luke? Oh, cheers, Luke. I'll have to check it out. I have not been paying much attention to Discord. I apologize. I've not been paying much attention to anything in the outside world. Much. Pretty many. Okay, going. Hello. My friend said your pieces are more complex than Hans Zimmer. Okay, thank you. Hans Zimmer's music's pretty simple on the face of it. There is a lot of complexity in the sound design, a lot of stuff he does, but it's, in the face of it, it's still pretty simple music. It's not like it's harmonically challenging, like a John Williams or something. It's a lot going on, but it's a different kind of lot going on. You know what I mean? Aries Music, how you going? Hello. Hope you're good. Oh dear. Super glad you can use music. I'm glad you feel like that, mummy. I'm always afraid that people really get, some people do get very angry that claims happen. And it's like what can I say? Awesome. Well, we're going to work on an orchestral track today. I'm feeling very, in the last couple of weeks, we saw Superman, we saw the Fantastic Four. And I'm in the mood for sort of optimistic, uplifting orchestral today. That's what we're in for. So I started something yesterday, and we'll see where it goes today. I'm still struggling with a few aspects of it, but it's only we're only 3 hours in, so we're going to be struggling. That's how it happens. That's how it works. Not a massive Zimmer fan, and music is very different fun. I said, thank you, Heavily. Yeah, I am a fan. I'm a big fan of Hans. He's done a lot for cinematic writing. It's changed the face of film scores, definitely. But yeah. So I definitely have a lot of his work infused in mine, I think. Hard not to these days. If you're writing cinematic music, it's hard not to. Oh, Antonin. Okay, I can put the name to the username. I am going alright. I'm working on a silver screen project at the moment. Actually, I'm doing an Elder Scrolls album, which is good. It's good times. Yeah. I just finished all the Morrowind tracks, which is my favorite game of all time. So I feel like I've kind of, I don't know, created heresy or something. Like it's one of those like things where like the music is so sacred because it's like my favorite game. You know, so it's hard to want to do anything to it, but you know, we tried. Felix Score, the new Superman was referencing a little. I agree, Luke, and in a way that I think is problematic. Like referring to the Superman theme, it was kind of just too simplistic, and it kept on using the same motifs a lot. I don't know. It just felt a bit. I kind of wished. Like, I liked a lot of the music in Superman. I think maybe I would have liked them. I would have liked John Murphy, and there was another person involved. I forget his name. But I would have liked them to maybe make a new theme. Just make something like Khan's did for, you know, the previous Superman reboot. Like, just do something that's inspired by, but not kind of riffing off it. Yeah. Because, I mean, Superman's inspired by, you know, a lot of that sort of, you know, Americana orchestral music. You know, like things like Copeland, you know, Fanfare for the Common Man, that sort of thing. Like that's the stuff where John Williams was pulling from. So like you can go to the source, these sort of things, and kind of take your own inspiration from them, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. Is your beard beyond the itchy stage? Yes. Yeah, I've had my beard for, I don't know, over 20 years. Yeah, I've gotten used to it now. Although when it gets a bit longer, I tend to keep it quite cropped. When it gets longer, a bit shaggier, it starts to get a bit weird, and I don't like it. But we're getting there. So I keep it nice and short. I think it's something to do with I got weird skin issues under my beard. That's the reason probably much why I have the beard, because I have like, you know, just horrible facial skin. You know what I mean? I just don't want people to see it, so I hide it. It's a good way to do it, I think. Been fine enough cliff races, and yeah, yes. Oh, those bloody cliff races. Do I do commissions for original projects? I do. Problem is, I generally have like a continuous full slate of projects. Like there's only so much I can do at a time. So I've got a couple of games I'm working on at the moment, and I have like an ongoing sort of a lot of work I do for a couple of companies. Well, one's Alan Becker Animations, which a lot of you people very recognize me from, doing scores for his animations, and then I do a lot of work for a company in the UK called Silver Screen. So they keep me busy. Everyone keeps me busy. So at the moment I can't really take on new stuff, which is pain. Not at least until I get other things finished. You know what I mean? Things need to get out the door. They need to go. But one of the games I'm working on this year should be out in early access this year, so that should be exciting. Fingers crossed. Yeah, there's a YouTube stream now. Yeah, you can talk to each other through the chat, just over here. What is the recent activity? I don't know. I probably should just get rid of that. It's like who's followed recently on, but it's only Twitch, I think. It doesn't really show anything on YouTube. This is a very old OBS template that I've been using for too long now. I need to update it, so... But we're stuck with it for now. Just need to update things, you know, freshen things up. Got to create the Australian Buckley Remote Control Enterprise. Yeah. Yeah, find some Aussies. Find some Aussie composers. Or maybe that, like, maybe we need to start it out here because no one wants to go to the US anymore, right? No one wants to immigrate to work over in LA anymore. That'd be pretty... It's pretty scary times, these it's a bit weird. A bit weird. But I think Australia, it's harder, even harder to get into, so I don't know. LA sucks, I agree. Any projects I'm working on, able to disclose? So I've got 2 games I'm working on. One is called Falling Frontier. Maybe I can find links for y'all. I'll share them. So I'm working on a game called Falling Frontier, which is like a sci-fi strategy game, which is pretty cool. And it's like heavily wishlisted. It's like the top 40, in the top 40, I think, of wishlisted games on Steam, or somewhere like that. Here we go. So that's Falling Frontier. And then I'm also working on another game called Menace. And this one actually may come out a little sooner, I reckon. This one's Menace. Another sci-fi game. This one's more tactical, like a tactical game. Good times. And then I do a lot of stuff for Alan Becker, who's a big YouTube channel. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Got a lot of fights around LA, but I'm pretty sure those happen down under as well. They do. Yeah, we had some epic fires not too long ago. Very big. Like pretty much the entire eastern side of the country was just on fire, which is pretty cool. Be posting OSTs on your channel when each of the games launched? Absolutely. Absolutely. And on all the platforms. So hopefully you'll be able to listen to it somewhere, I reckon. Oh, really, King? Ah, cool. Yeah, no, I've been working on Menace. Yeah, that should probably come out later this year, I reckon, in early access. We'll see. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that one. A lot of fun. Yeah, both are very, like, both are sci-fi sort of strategy, tactical games, but are very different tones. Yeah. So Menace is very like I don't know, it has those that sort of 80s dystopian sci-fi kind of vibe. Whereas so the music's kind of evoking that a little bit, that sort of that 80s feel, 80s cinematic feel. And then Falling Frontier is very, very, I guess, Expanse. Everyone thinks Expanse, like, compares it to the Expanse, but that's the vibe. Really. So that's what we're going for, really. Thank you, Antonin. You do amazing work too, brother. You do great work. Rick's very lucky to have you, I reckon. More space music from Jay? Yeah, I get it. Well, I mean, do you want to do some work? I suppose we should do some work. So as I said, I started this track yesterday, like just put like 2.5 hours in to starting something. So it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of a few tracks I've already written, which is not atypical for me. But it's like a, you know, I'll turn this off. Yeah, sort of optimistic, uplifting orchestral, I think. We'll see where it goes though. So the idea is it's like this opening section sort of setting the tone. It's kind of got Superman vibes, I think. I think that's it in my brain a little bit. But it's also got that feeling of like tracks that I've written, like Age of Wonder, and a lot of my optimistic, you know, tracks. Got brass, it's got brass, yes. Yeah. It's got a build at the moment that I'm not very, like, I like the idea. It's a little bit like, it's sketchy. But it gets to a point, like, where it's sort of the track starts to fly off. So it's doing the work at the moment. We might have to come back to fix a little bit, tweak it a bit. But I suppose we can just play it and see how we're feeling about it. It's also got like this sort of 4 on the floor kick, which I'm also not so sure about because it's a little bit tacky. So we may end up just pulling that out. But I don't know. It's like, at the moment, the problem I'm having a lot at the moment, and probably the reason why I'm struggling to get things finished, it's like I feel like I'm writing so slowly at the moment. I used to be much quicker. In the last few, like probably the last couple of months, I don't know, I just slowed down a lot. And I don't know what's going on. Getting in my head probably. That's probably all it is. 4 on the floor kick is in right now. Well, there you go. I do a lot of 4 on the floor stuff for Alan Becker's animations. And it's actually mostly because it's like a preference from Alan Becker and his team. Like I find that they like a solid beat, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, I think we gotta, you know, I do that a lot with him, but it's like, I haven't done much of that sort of stuff for the library. Not that I have to, it's just, you know, I just noticed it's like, I do notice that the music that I write for Alan Becker, and for a lot of things, like it's, stylistically quite different to the stuff that I end up writing for the library, and it's curious. I'm curious to know why it's so different. You know, I mean, definitely the stuff that I write for the library, it's not. I'm not scoring picture. You know, I'm just kind of writing vibes, and so it's like there is a very big difference there. I think, particularly Alan's stuff is very, very high energy. A lot of cuts, a lot of hit points. So it's like, you know, different vibe. Whereas there's no hit points here. You have nothing to aim for other than just feeling good. It is slow 4 on the floor kick for the fan. Oh, really? You did that? Did you actually get it in, or did you pitch for it? But that's fun. By the way, yeah, Fantastic Four was great. You guys seen it? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. They did a great job. I felt it was very good. I was kind of hoping for more of a like Incredibles score from Michael Giacchino. That is amazing, Yannick. You're rolling in it, buddy. That's such a great placement. Well done, man. Final half of the trailer. Does scoring a picture work in Cakewalk? Actually, it works. It's not great. I think one of the big reasons why I would love to shift to another DAW is just some more functionality around how like your video works inside it, because Cakewalk sucks. You can load in a video, but you can't do anything to it. So it's like it's completely, once it's in, it's in. There's nothing you can do to like shift the start point. You can't you can't do anything to it. Like it's a real pain. Like sometimes it would be great to be able to, I don't know, clip a video within, within Cakewalk, so that I'm only scoring. If I'm only scoring like 2 minutes of a 15-minute video, I don't have to to go and edit it outside and bring it. I don't know. I want some more functionality in here. I know there's things like, I know Digital Performer. Remember they had some tools to do with like tempo mapping between hit points, so that you could sort of shift tempos and help you sort of align how, align tempos so that you could hit points on the beat and things like that. I think that's kind of a function I would love to have. I don't know if other DAWs have that. Does anyone know if like other DAWs have that sort of thing? Galactus was perfect. I agree. Yeah, don't be afraid of having a big glob of a man running around. I think that was a really good choice. No, Cakewalk's changed a bit. Reaper's definitely the best free DAW out there. Yeah, Cakewalk's. It's going in. I think they had to do it at some point. Not everyone's able to maintain a free model. I think Reaper's done a really good job, but Cakewalk. I don't know. It is a lot of work, I think, to maintain software like this. Just drop a CPU in the process? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Okay. We've got an ad coming in on Twitter, on Twitch, sorry. But, I'm just going to play music anyway. Okay. That's the sort of the brass rise I'm talking about. It's a little bit sketchy. I like some of like the free feeling of it. It's kind of like falling towards something, but we gotta work on it a little bit. So this is all I got really. We've got like more like a bass line, I think, that we've generated. So this is all we got. So we're going to work on this. This is what we're doing today. Great start, I agree. It's got the vibes. So we just got to fill it out a little bit. Yeah, happy. Agreed. I want optimism. That's what a lot of yeah. I think we all need a bit of optimism these days. It's all very bleak at the moment. It's all bleak. We need a little bit of joy in our lives. So, on that note, oh yeah, here it is. I want to see if we can do a bit of side chaining of a synth. Yes, I'm still using the old labs. Do not judge me. Do not judge me. Where is it? One of my favorite synths of all time is in this. It's just a pad, but it's a very nice pad. They did a good job. It's just so big. It's all big. Judgment. No. Yeah, I've got Ashlight going. I've got to download the actual full Contact 7, so I'm just using the player at the moment. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. I just haven't done it yet, but it's good. Ashlight's great. It's got some cool stuff in there, you know. Is there a title for this track yet? I've tentatively called it Age of Light. It's kind of like, because it's kind of reminded me of Age of Wonder, but I wanted something else to call it. But I don't know. I don't know what it should be called. This is just a very, you know, project. You know, I needed to name it something, so that's what it was. Will this get stems for the song? Yes, it will. If you're part of the Patreon at the $10 tier, I think you'll be able to get it with the stems, but it won't be there for a little bit. I think we've got to finish it first. You know what I mean? Never been really good at this, but occasionally get it to work in a way that seems fun. So we'll try it again. Yeah. So you go to there. And then, yeah. Get rid of those two. Then, do we send the whole thing? Yes. Send the whole thing to... Man, where's the kick? Where's the kick? Boom, 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 boom. Send to input of the compressor. Let's see how this goes. I forget how to do this. Oh, that's doing internal band, exterior. Yeah. There we go. Age of Miracles. Age of Cake. When is the track available? I'm not sure, Loom. I'm not sure. Depends on how quickly I write it. Probably sometime this month. Is this FL Studio? No, this is a program called Sonar. Cakewalk Sonar. I've been using it for... It has to be over 25 years now. Because it's 2025 this year. I was using it in the 90s. So maybe 30 years. Let's just say, we're going to round to 30 years now. I'm an old man. Alright, it's gonna be a nice bit, I think. So where is this patch? Here. Officially gone pro sample dev since currently processing any library license for contact player. That's amazing. Fingers crossed, buddy. I mean, a lot of people have gone through it, so hopefully it's not too much of a crazy thing. Wonder would be a good suggestion. I agree. The only problem is I've already got a piece in my catalog called Age of Wonder, and it's kind of similar. It's kind of a similar vibe, I think. Do you always use a synth to double basses? Sometimes. Definitely for these kinds of tracks where it's sort of a hybrid kind of situation. Depends on like the mix. Sometimes it doesn't need that. Sometimes the basses just are doing their job. But sometimes the like double bass patches, I feel like sometimes they have too much of a graininess to be super clear and cut through at times when like in tracks where they really need like a clear bass line. This track doesn't really have... It has a bass line in terms of the synth here. But sometimes I often put just like almost like a sine wave doing the bass line for certain things, certain tracks. There's a patch in what's that library? What's that synth called? Massive. It's a patch in Massive called 3 octave sub. It's like my go-to patch for like if I need just the bass line to be more present. I just throw that in there and just double that, and it's like magic. It works really nicely. Age of Empires, yeah, it's got that kind of like that Civ kind of vibe, like techno Civ. Yeah, it's the trumpet, and I think I've got the trombones also playing quite high. You know what I mean? This is trombones. So it's a little bit... I like the chaos, because it kind of feels like this sort of weird fall. Like we're also like fumbling towards the this moment of change, but it's a little bit too much, I think. It's a little too much. Also, the French horns are going a little bit ham as well. I'm also thinking we need some strings doing stuff. And so it might just help if we, add them in and lower the brass a little bit. We'll see. After a lot of these things, it's kind of like, is it close enough? If it is a problem, we'll just go change the brass, but I can't dwell on things too much, Alright, let's do the synth. I'm trying to think what I want to do with this. Yeah, I agree, Yannick. Yeah, I mean, they're recorded in like that sort of, the hall setting. But like basses are not necessarily, like because of the nature of just bass frequencies, they don't always feel very, like when you're in the hall, like when you're sitting in the hall, it doesn't feel like you're paying attention to the right-hand side when the bass is on the right. Like they've sort of filled the space. It's just how bass frequencies feel to me. They don't really have a directionality to them. So yeah, having them always to the right on a string setting on in a panned recorded sample library, it's kind of it is strange. I agree. Good luck, Luke. Have a nice sleep. Really good to see you. Strangest feeling Saturday ever? That would be true, I think. I think Surely, because I usually stream on a Monday morning. Wouldn't that be Sunday, not Saturday, for you? I'm confused. I don't know how time works. There's always a big impact on the low ends. When you try to figure out where that comes from, I still can't figure it out. It's a good question. Yeah, it's probably like... Yeah, if there is something that's happening in the low end that's sort of keeping it really sort of clear and resonant, it's probably because like I've got a 3-octave, like that 3-octave sub patch. I'll play it for you. Maybe I'll load it up. You can hear what it sounds like. It's just very... You can find something that works for you. It's actually... I don't think it's in the new version of Massive. It's in the old one. I wonder if I can re-emulate. Look how low res this is in this new... At the moment. I don't know what's going on with it. I kind of like it. Kind of makes me feel like I'm... Wait, yeah, here we go. 3-octave sub. So this is what it sounds like. Nope, not that. Usually it's got a little like a blip on the attack, so I just remove the attack a bit. It's got a little bit of like a growliness, so it kind of blends with the double basses really nicely in that regard, but it's also more of like a clean bass sub. Anyway, so that's what I use a lot for lower bass lines, to double with the double basses. That's my secret sauce. Australia's the future, yes. But not 48 hours in the future, no. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Hey, Kadu! Hello! I know, Night Fury. I'm just some rando who's taken over this channel that doesn't really do much anymore. So I just thought I'd start streaming on it. Horns are crazy. Like a lot of like they can sound really like super hero, but they can also like horns also are often used like in classical music. They use like woodwinds. You know, like they like these kind of very mellow versions of a woodwind when they're written for them. Like it's a very different vibe to like how horns are used in like modern cinematic music. You know what I mean? It's very different. All right, what are we doing, Scott? Use a lot of that instrument in my music. Which one? Oh, the lab synth. There's a lot of those sort of patches I use in everything, and it is a bit of a problem. I think I need to spend some time exploring new sounds. But when you're really working really quickly and busy and doing lots of things, you find it's like you fall back on all those things that you know have worked in the past, and the problem is that your music ends up just sounding exactly the same every time, which is a little bit of a problem. But it does help you to work quickly, you know what I mean? Okay, what are the strings going to do here? And will they compete with the brass? I did have something here already. Let's... That's true, Loom. Yeah, it does become like your sound, you know? People identify it as you. So it's a little like... Yeah, you can't throw everything out with with the bath water. How about we like have a little bit of a play with these brass? You know me, and you know me, Attic. Oh yeah. Yeah, the wind that wins it is kind of fliddle-a-doodling. They're flit-little-a-doodling. We'll put that for now. No, I totally don't mind, Loom. That's what we're here for. We're all working together. It does get distracting. Like there's things where like I probably will come back to them later and I kind of ignore them, but they do get distracting, I think. What are we doing? It's sort of the right idea, I think. Haven't saved in a bit. I don't know what I've actually added in the last hour, but you know, we'll get there. Too many mistakes were made. This is doing the weird thing again. It is. Okay. Let's cut that out. I don't know what I'm doing there. Maybe a single voice singing that melody during the break when it comes down before it rebuilds. Maybe, yeah. I feel like this section will be... section after it will be like a big statement of this, like... But there is a section I'm building up to up here, I think, which will fall away. Have like a sort of like a breakdown. I don't know what you call those sort of middle sections, this B section. Where it will be sort of a bit more, sort of moody, exploratory kind of vibes. Yeah, this is just the beginning. We're only at the start. We got hours to go. The right octave, I think. Getting the timing right. Sort of something like that. Let's remove all the flubs. All the flubs are gone. Okay. Violin twos, what are you? What are you guys up to? Thanks for hanging out, Loom. Appreciate the feedback. No need for too much orchestra. No, all the orchestra. Have a good night, man. Thank you. Thanks, King. Have a good one. How about I just cheat? How about I just cheat and just do, oops. Actually, they probably need to be doing a little bit more of a counter melody. Like a call and response. Synth is the heart. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll get through this section and we'll decide where we're going to mix it later. You'll be right. I think the next section will be definitely the telling part. I think it'll be we'll see where it takes off, because that'll be like the big bold first real statement, you know. At least in my head it's like that. Who knows what it's gonna be? That's edging towards what I want. My coffee is cold now. Oh. You know, some coffee's good when it's drunk cold. That's not one of those kinds of coffee. Blah. Hey, Starter folks, how you doing? Yeah, we're going for uplifting, optimistic vibes today. Excellent. It's doing its job. And we've got crows. They're back. Every morning. So frustrating. I was watching a video. I forget the YouTube channel. I can see his face in my head, but he did a video on recording birds with ultrasonic microphones. So these are microphones that can record, well above 20 kilohertz, which is like the limits of our hearing. But there's sound up there. It's just we can't hear it. But the idea is that you can record these. Record sounds in their, fuller bandwidth, and then pitch shift them down without any loss of signal or of loss of any sort of information. And he was doing this to bird calls, so you could hear like sort of the complexity of the sort of the frequencies they produce in their calls and how diverse they are. As fascinating, and like immediately, like every sound, this sounded like it could be used for sound design. It's like, I've got to get me some ultrasonic microphones, and we can record these guys. That'd be a lot of fun. So Negro, how you doing? And Casper, hello. How are you doing today? I was thinking of throwing another Juno at this. Why not? More Junos. What's out of tune? I think the Persian pad has a tendency to do that. It's very fast, but my idea is kind of like this, like kind of texture with it. Thanks, Book. Have a good one, mate. Maybe I just hit record on this. Beautiful. I'll just like extend this into oblivion. What does it sound like? An octave higher. Maybe you need a different kind of delay on this. Maybe something a little bit more ambient. I don't know if it needs to be a bit slower and longer notes. I don't know. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, Kano. I really, I keep on promising this, but I would probably maybe like an afternoon session here. Sometime during the week, that would be better aligned with the poor folks in the EU. There might be a better time slot for them. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's amazing that you're here. Like, oh my god, how are you awake right now? 3 a.m. I go to bed at like 9:30, guys. Straight into bed. Can't stay awake. Agreed, Daniel. Yeah, freedom's very optimistic. Unashamedly optimistic, that one. I think a lot of my music, I mean, a lot of it does have that sort of, you know, it's sad but kind of happy vibe. Whereas freedom's one of those few ones, and as well as there's a few tracks that things like Bring Me the Sky. There's a few of them that are just like very just full of hope, full of joy and hope, you know? I like those kinds of tracks. They're just yeah. A rare thing these days. Previous Guys, If I Fire Your Favorite. Really? That's fantastic. I mean, I love that track. It was very much my, like, I want to write music for trailers for Flight Simulator, because I love that game. So there's a couple of tracks where it's like, I'm going to imagine myself writing what kind of track would work with a trailer for Flight Sim. Not that I would get, like, I wasn't pitching for it, I wasn't doing anything, I just wanted to, like, you know, just because they're so uplifting. I guess that's the idea. They're uplifting you because they want to feel like you're flying, you know, that sense of freedom and the joy that comes with that, you know. So it's like really unashamedly happy. Like it's a cool thing, you know. So it's like I think that was my my first attempt at sort of trying to embrace that happiness. Are you adjusting what is called audio ducking for tracks? Not so much. I think you mean like side chaining, like that sort of thing. I am actually using side chaining a little bit for this one, just for one synth, for the kick, but not really. I mean, in terms of like, I will do I'm sort of mixing as I go. I will kind of balance things as I go, and I might bring down the brass to allow room for the strings, those sort of things. So those kinds of things happen, but I don't know if I would actually call it audio ducking. I don't know. Audio ducking, I feel like implies some sort of automation, and I don't really do that much. Like things triggering other things to happen. I don't do that much. I'm not very technical in that kind of way of producing. Okay, so we need to figure out what we're doing here. Welcome back, Jay. He wanted to make uplifting music, but somehow the last track ended like a Souls-like track with some self-written Latin poem. Wow, cool. It's so hard, rather hard to build and develop a clear theme. I agree. Sometimes but sometimes you just got to embrace, you know, what works in the moment too, and just try again next time. Quite often, I will start a track with a very clear vibe in mind. I want it to be happy, or I want it to be melancholy or something, and I end up going in a completely different direction just based on the feeling in the moment and the chords I've hit. And it's like, oh yes, something clicks, and you go in some direction. I mean, and it's fine when you don't have anything to write for. Like the library music is kind of just me making vibes. I can't really do that for project work. I was going to experimental state and was going for an ethereal alien melodic conversation. Nice. End up with a theme for a villain you're writing for. Nice. Nice. You never know. About your hometown. Fantastic. That's cool. Huh. Not a great deal of progress, Jay. Love a slow day. muddling my way through it. Let's just leave that for now. Oh dear. I think I'm in a weird space with my music at the moment. It's kind of like I think I just need a break. I've just been doing too many things for too long. I'm just getting in my head about stuff now. And it's just not good. We all need a break, I think. Gotta silence that little inner critic in your head that says that all the stuff that you're writing is just... It's pretty meh, Scott. Like... It's like being sick, you know, one thing, you are sick, so that's not great, but it does give you like a, you know, a way to forcibly not do work for a few days. So that was, I think, a good thing. Okay, I'm just gonna get some water. I'm gonna be right back. My throat is a bit parched. Be right back. I can trust you guys. You behave yourselves. Mike, I select for very, very chill folks here. Hey, Sush Groove. Why did I change timings? Mostly because Mondays seems to be a day where lots of things happen, and it means I'm kind of cancelling streams when I don't want to, and so that's why we changed the times. So we're gonna change. Oh, and also the times, yeah, the whole screen chamber, yeah. I live in Australia now. Yeah, that's right. That too. So yeah, I don't live in Sweden anymore. So that's one big change. So I sort of like to stream now in my mornings here in Australia, and that's a very different time. And I apologize for that. Not very amenable for anyone living in the EU. I'm sorry. I will. Yeah, I keep on saying it, but I'm really busy at the moment, so it's like hard to squeeze in other days to do streams. But I think like an afternoon stream eventually, sometimes in the week would be good for you guys, I think. That will be good. Yeah, it just adds a little bit more rhythm, I think. Look like an old man. I am an old man. Come on. I'm a 42-year-old man. What do you want from me? No, I am putting on a bit of weight at the moment. I'm seeing an exercise physiologist. So for a long time I had this like weird. Oh, I got an ad break. We'll talk about the thing after the ad break. Yeah, so like I'm seeing an exercise physiologist and we're doing like all this muscle building work. So I try to like build muscle. So for years I've been having issues with like muscle wasting. It turns out I have a muscle disease, which is pretty cool. So I'm seeing this guy and he's helping me essentially get swole, but essentially build back muscle that I've lost over the years. But the problem with this is that you have to do what's called bulking. So bulking is like eating enough protein, but also eating enough calories in surplus so that you gain muscle mass in an efficient way. The problem with bulking though is that you kind of like, I feel like you also you do just put on a bit of fat, because I'm not really doing it like in a very clean kind of way. I'm just eating food. So I mean that I've got more muscle than I've ever had in my life, but I'm also kind of getting a bit chubs. So at some point we have to do what's called cutting. We have to cut a cut, which is like cutting your calorie intake so that you can lose a bit of the fat. So that's what we're gonna do next. But we gotta get a little bit through this next phase where I'll probably leave a little bit more chubs. Wow, the bass frequencies in here, because I've turned off got my little like EQ thing for my room. I've turned this off. That's really boomy in here. Some big bass going off in my room. Oh. Something's going off the rails there. Do you ever have certain parts of composing that you postpone for sometimes postpone rhyme percussion even though you make it so much better? because you don't want to do it. Yes, yeah, percussion is a good example. Like, particularly like writing like the orchestral stuff, like timpani, cymbals and stuff like that. I will probably do them as I go, but anything that's like extraneous, like epic percussion or something, I'm really bad at programming those things. I feel like I'm not a very good like epic drum programmer, so I kind of just leave them to later because I just don't want to do them because I know I'm bad at them, which is not great. But yeah, definitely do. I'm trying to think of anything else that I might do. I mean, there's definitely also things if I know there's going to be choir, but they're more of a supportive thing, I will wait. I'll throw that at the end and do that then. Things like that where it's not really, it's more of a supporting instrument rather than something that's critical to the mix. Those kinds of things. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it works, Jay. I have to work at it, though. And it's very, like, Lord of the Rings, kind of channeling those ones. Those like, things like the Raid. There's a lot of that, like, Season 3 score is very, I'm just gonna be Howard Shore for 10 minutes. So I'm actually mastering the album next week. So it will happen hopefully very soon. Yeah, it's too long. I'm doing this too long. I also I'm talking with Alan about plans for the rest of the stuff as well. AVA might be a little bit of a while, because I want to talk to them about their plans for the rest of the season, the rest of the series for that. So it might be worth waiting, but things like I want to put like animation versus physics and maths and addiction and like all these sort of extraneous ones that I've done. I want to put them out. I've got to get them out there. You know, I don't know why I sit on these forever. I'm horrible. Just because I kind of do it and then I move on. Can you forget? That job's not finished. sure what's going on towards the end of this section. That's all right. I'm going to try my best to split them. Yeah. Just because, like, there are parts of the scores that folks would prefer to listen to on their own. Like, a good example is like the Herobrine theme and the world collapsing from the king. Like, the things like probably need to people want to listen to those. They want to listen to the whole score to get to that moment. So I'm gonna try my best to split them up. Yeah. Oh, the extra tracks like animation versus physics and stuff. I don't know. Probably not on the animation versus Minecraft album. I'm trying to decide whether. Yeah, no, probably not. I'll probably just do them as a single, or maybe as an EP. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Still gotta figure this out. Gotta mull this over, you know. Yeah, my original idea was to put animation versus physics and math and stuff on the AVM album. But it might just be a little bit weird and confusing because they're not really related. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Do you think having season 4 be its own album would be nice? Because I see people, including myself, wanting to go listen to them on there. Yeah, fair enough. Done. Stanzine, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? How you doing? Been chillin'. It's the best way to be. Just leave that for there for now. Yeah, we're going big ol' happy vibes today. So why is this doing that? Yes, yes it does. So if you change the BPM, a lot of those like arpeggiated sort of things will change tempo too, yeah. They're all BPM locked. There must be a lot of like very universal things within DAWs. It's to do with MIDI. I think MIDI is very like one of these sort of standardized formats of triggering things that like just everyone has gotten on board with, which is good, which means that pretty much Every DAW is doing a very similar thing, which is nice. You can expect it to do things that you want it to do. Probably shouldn't have it do too much counter melody stuff. Oh, Vic Deluxe, yeah. It's a good track. Good track. Also another one that's fairly optimistic, I think. Thanks, Link. We're soaring today. We're doing a lot of big, bold melodies today. very dense. It's just the problem. Work on this first section. Add time. Thanks, Lucas. How did I get started? So, like, many moons ago, I did growing up, I did piano, did a lot of piano, learning like how to play and performing and stuff like that. And at one point I had a very cool piano teacher who also had a business doing music, like selling and setting up music technology studios in schools. So like these are like, you know, spaces where students would go and learn how to essentially do this, play with MIDI and program stuff and do notation, that sort of thing. So she was like setting up these studios for schools, and she got me into it. She got me into playing with MIDI, and as soon as I started, I was just hooked. And this was like, you know, 25, 30 years ago now. 30 years ago. It's 30 years ago. More than 30 years ago, maybe. And I just kind of kept on doing it. I mean, I did have a background in music, and I had a bit of theory behind me, so that helped a lot in writing, but a lot of it's just been like me trial and error, you know, fumbling my way through, trying to write a track, and then I'll write another track and write another track, and just keep on doing that. And I haven't stopped, really. Yeah. I did do a music degree, so I went and did like a Bachelor of Music back in the early 2000s, but I don't think it helped me much. It didn't really help me much. I think it was like I was not really paying that much attention during that time. Kind of fumbled my way through that degree. For some reason, the kick brings joy. I don't know, like it's like this sort of. Why does a 4 on the floor make it feel even more? I guess because, like, I don't know, it feels like you want to dance, you want to move. It's weird. That's amazing, Jay. Congratulations, buddy. That's phenomenal. So happy for you. Hit the button where everything squishes. I don't mean to do that. Very annoying. Oh, totally wrong one. Joyous triangle. It is. I agree. Being able to look back on something and still feel like it's good work. Yeah. Good feeling, man. And clearly it's resonating. That translates. Where is it? All right. Okie dokie dokie dokie. Something like that. I mean, yes. So part of the score for Menace will have plenty of guitar in it. So you get to look forward to that one. Very, very sort of 80s wailing guitar solos. For that final section there. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've gone full ham. I've had so much fun with Menace. It's a cool one because it goes, the score goes in a lot of different directions. So I can't wait. I can't wait to share it with y'all. I'd also like to do some play more with I'm a big fan of post-rock vibes, say Cirrus and explosions in the sky, and I kind of like to play around with that guitar sound a little bit and have fun with some chill atmospheric vibes. You know what I mean? Oh, awesome, Mike. Very cool. Anything that you might have learned during a time with it, something that you take elsewhere? I mean, it's a good question. I mean, there's been a lot of experimenting, particularly for some factions in the game. Getting their sound took me a lot out of my comfort zone to try and figure out how to get that sound. It forced me to play with new ways of creating sound and new ways of playing around with it, modifying it and glitching it up, and so that's been really good to think about, sort of the things I've learnt from doing that will definitely be translatable to so much stuff. And also not to be afraid of recording things. Like actual physical instruments or my voice. There's a lot of my voice as well in Menace. Just to add either as like actual instruments or like texture. So it's like, it's sort of getting me out of that comfort zone of just relying on samples. And if I don't have the sample, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like there's actually, you can actually record things and it's fine. I've got the ability to do that. So that's been good. Yeah, that was one reason, Jay, definitely. There's been a couple of tracks that have been influenced by the stuff I've been doing on Menace. One is Honor Amongst Thieves. The other one is Eyes in the Void. So it'll give you an idea of the things I'm trying to do in Menace. It's very eclectic in many ways, but not as well. Like they're all sort of, I feel like they all kind of come together. But yeah, it's interesting. Fumbly fingers. No idea. We gotta fix this ending. Not sure where it's heading there. But this is vibing. I think this is feeling like a big moment. like there's very little melody here, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's more like a feeling. It's a feeling. Guys, I think I might stop. I think I can feel my belly kind of telling me that, you know, telling my brain to shut down because it's hungry and I need to eat. Oh, it's the Adria, just in time for me to go. Good to see you though. How you doing? Guys, thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the help, all the suggestions, all the hangs, all the chill hangs. I will go get food. Yeah, I will be back next Tuesday. Let's do the thing. I'll try and progress this one, I think, between now and then. So we maybe hopefully by next week we'll be finishing this. This would be good. Because we do need to get a library track out. Because I'm well behind on all the things. You know what I mean? You were lurking. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your week. Don't do anything crazy. I will get hard to work trying to finish my backlog of stuff, and we'll you know, get back on the horse. It's not like I'm not writing music, you know. It's just like it's like a lot of stuff. It'd be nice to get back to a point where you know, I can focus on a track and not feel like I need to get it done tomorrow. You know, that's gonna be really good. All right, guys. Have a good one. Have a good one. See you soon. Thanks again. Bye.